interruption. We'll see what happened. If you guys saw my previous live, I had to be short because I had a small family emergency, and that's the way it goes sometimes. But tonight we have a show that's going to be very good. We have, I'm going to summarize Mr. B's success philosophy. If you do not know Mr. B, he's one of the greatest, most successful YouTuber there is. This presentation tonight is based on many videos that I looked that condense hundreds of hours, and I have tried to summarize and review some of the things that are important to being successful on YouTube. I hope that this will be a great resource for you. It's certainly a great resource for me, and hopefully tonight we both learn something. So one of the goals that he set for himself, which I always find it to be revealing and very good, is that the goal isn't to be perfect today, but to be 1% better than every video you post, right? So 1% better. What does that mean? 1% better means better lighting. Your microphone is better. Better script, better title, better thumbnail. So whatever you can improve will be great. So it's kind of hard not to do that. I mean, if you look at the videos that you put together and you look how they perform in analytics, you could tell which videos are doing well, which one are not doing well, by looking at the number of views that you get. And the thing is, figure out what did I do here that gave me so many views, and what did I do here or there that I have less view than that. So 1% better. If you keep doing 1% better every time, before you know it, you'll be very good at what you do. You'll be very good at this as a profession, at this endeavors, if you will. Now, he uses the word obsession. And he states that it's required to reach the top. He's obsessed based on the way he describes himself and the way other people describe him. Most people cannot get to that level of obsession, but you have to mimic it as much as you can. You have to he thinks about YouTube day in and day out, 24/7. There's no days off for him. And I'm quite sure I've seen some of the YouTubers, they go days without sleeping, or they go days working on video, they go days posting, they go days creating shorts, they go days doing stuff. And they show the level of obsession on the video that they post. Those are the people that seems to be successful in the short term. But my desire for you is to be consistent and to be persistent. Meaning that it's not a one-day thing. I could tell you right now, I got tired several times because I keep doing this, I keep doing that, and I haven't got one single video that got 1 million views, one. So I know it's not an easy task to do, and I have followed many advices, but it is possible based on the information that you're going to learn tonight. So some of the information that you see, it goes from the mindset of the creator, talking about specific tactics in editing, PTR, hooks, etc., and growing your business. We have been talking on this channel about editing. The last couple of videos that we talked about was editing. If you remember, we do editing with CapCut, with the editing with DaVinci Resolve. You know, we review some of the CTR information, review some of the hook, the creation of the hook. And one of the things that we've done is, if you look at, remember this flow here, we look at different flow or creating either ideas and then creating the rest of the script, video, title, hook, etc., or starting with the title, moving through the script. Now, Mr. B specifically say the title and the thumbnail are very, very important. I don't know what he said, whether it should be the first thing to do or the last thing to do. I think he's more in this camp right here, but you have to understand, he is the best of the best. He can afford to work in a video for a month and then be able to post it and get millions of views. The rest of us, we don't have the resources or the time to do that. So again, I'm still in this camp right here. That's why I'm not as successful as he is. But definitely, title and thumbnail is critical. Maybe that's what got you to click on this live event tonight, because you saw the thumbnail and the title. That's the first thing. But what he says, yeah, that will get you in, but it will not keep you in. And he looks at some of the analytics. For example, I'm going to just pick any of them. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to pick the analytics. Look at the analytics, and he says engagement, not a reach, audience. Wow, this one's go up and down. For the video, sometimes you get a lot of engagement, and then it drops off really, really quickly. And when we did that, when we looked at the, I think what we looked at advanced mode, and we looked at audience retention. This is where you're actually going to be able to see that a little better. This is what he's talking about here. You hook him in with the title and the thumbnail, but then if your video is not interesting, it's going to begin to drop. Great, and it happens to everybody, but you want to keep this curve as high as possible, between 20 and 30%, right? So this is at 24%, so this is good. So that's what he's talking about. You do that. Is it easy to do? Absolutely not. But you know, that's basically the business. Now, the one thing that you're going to see later on, he talks about growing the business, scaling the business, and how to do that. Hopefully, stick around. I'll be able to learn how to do that, and how to treat YouTube as a business. The first part of this presentation is about Q&A. Hopefully, you know, a question that was asked. He talks about his strategy. And maybe we could go ahead and talk about, provide an example if I can. So the first question is, how should a beginner start? And he said, yes, fail. Okay. He thinks your first 100 videos will be likely to be bad. And I could tell you right now, I have some doozies. I have some that got very little view to no views. And then as I kept making videos, things got better. So I could see that his advice is sound. And the more the videos that I do, the better I get, the better technique that I develop, the faster I get. So he said, don't spend months planning at the beginning. Your first one, just spend the time making and improving each upload. So the example that he's giving you here is, each video that you put in, try to make it better than the one before. Now, does that mean that you're gonna get more views each time? Yeah, that's not true. That's not gonna happen. What it means though is that you are likely to get a viral video much faster than if you just did the same thing all the time. If you improve it, they will come. People will come and watch your video. If you improve the stories, if the story is better, if the filming is better, if the editing is better, people will be attracted to your your work and they come and see it. So don't worry that you're not making it. Don't worry that you're failing. Don't worry that you are not doing well. Keep posting and eventually the videos will get better. You're going to make a lot of mistakes along the way. That's the way it goes. Next question is, what is the algorithm? He translate the algorithm is the audience. So if you replace the word algorithm for audience, you find out exactly what they're talking about. People say, oh, the algorithm doesn't like me. You say, no, the audience doesn't like you. YouTube is about people, right? When you post, basically, when you post a video, if people like your video, YouTube will recommend it. Like, there's growth about that. It sort of goes into a curve from, let's say, from 0 to 10, right? So let's say the first 10 people watch the video, YouTube will recommend it. Then they go from 20 to 30. If 20 people watch it, then YouTube will recommend it, and so on and so on. So the more views that you have, the more people like your video. And that's the way it goes. Now, the next point that I want to talk about is quality. I know that we said here at the beginning, fail, right? Do the best you can and move forward. But if he's saying basically, if you have a choice, about 9% of the time you do, worry about quality, because one great video will generate more views than 100 mediocre ones. So when you get your video, if you look at your video and you don't like it yourself, you say, oh, it's too slow, this and the other, do not post it. Put it down, come back to it tomorrow. There's no race. I'm one of those folks that want to post every night. So I may have a video to being played every night, or I will have a show every night. But if, for example, that video is not the best quality that I could put together, I have to take it back. And I'm doing a lot of that more. With time, you begin to develop patience. You don't feel like you have to post something every night. You don't feel like you have to stream something every night. So quality is important. I could tell you that I have a video that I created 3 days ago. I have 2 videos that I created 3 days ago. And I have posted it because I can't decide which one is better. And also I cannot decide if I truly like it, or what music does to go with it, and things like that. So I'm more into the quality camp, although I could tell you I have a lot to learn. And one of the reasons why I do that is because I try to listen to his advice as much as possible. And I'm trying to get to creating one great video instead of creating 100 mediocre one. But I'm not there yet, so I keep trying. So last night we talked about the hook. Let me see if I can show the picture again. Part of the script is a hook, right? And we talked about when we did this, when we looked at the advanced setting, we looked at the retention, right? And we say, how important is retention, right? And we found out that retention was very good. I'm going to look at a different video so you can see the importance of that. I don't know what this is. It's a streaming video. So let's look at something here. Don't matter. Apply. See this one here, well, it has 20% retention, which is actually very good. This is a very long video. But we got to be 18 minutes, right? we got to 18%. Although on average, our retention was 24%. This thing dropped like a rock the first 18 seconds. Right? Meaning the thumbnail attracted the viewer, the title attracted the viewer, but within 18 seconds, they were gone. You see that? And then you have ups and downs till you got rated to 6%. This was a 10-minute, looks like a 10-minute video or more. So that's what he means by that. You know, the first 10 seconds is important. The first 2 seconds, you have to have a strong hook to hook him in to watch part of the video, and then you have to keep him on your video. And one of the techniques that he talks about is, at the beginning of the video, tell them exactly what they're going to get by watching this video. Like, for example, you will learn 10 new tricks or 10 new ideas how to increase the number of views, right? Do that, and people say, okay, and then you count them off, 1, 2, and then you also tell them, wait for the last one, because the last one is the most important one. So that kind of say, okay, they watch one of the 10 and they say, okay. Then they watch the second one, then they say, maybe they want to get up and say, oh, let me see the last one. So they either move the video forward, or they might stay to watch the entire video. But that means instead of 18 seconds, they may watch it for 30, 1 minute, and that helps your retention. That's what I mean. Create a great hook, and then do a great follow-up on that. Now, this is about growth, growing your business. You know, how to handle money. There are people that are getting a lot of money out of YouTube. Some are not getting as much, but there's some getting sufficient to replace some of the income, right? So he said that what you do is you reinvest everything. Instead of, let's say you got $100,000, instead of buying a mansion that you have to pay taxes, instead of buying 3 cars that you have to maintain and pay stuff like that, he said reinvest that money into your business, and before you know it, you have a larger business making more money, and you will continue to grow. That, you know, that's a sound idea. Many people have done it, and it'll be great. You know, he's the biggest one. He got so many views, totally incredible. If you look at all the stats, he's at the very top of it. Not only nationwide, he's the greatest in the nation, but worldwide, he's the best in YouTube. So, one's the best. Now, this is something that I'm working on. What is the key to retention, right? I try to look at my videos after I post them, right? And basically, I try to go back the following day and start doing cuts. Anything that I think is dull, you know, a pause, no music, incorrect video, incorrect audio. I go in there and I just cut it, because you have to be ruthless. Every second must have a purpose. You have a B cam and C cam, that's too technical, so I'm not going to talk about that. But basically, it's different camera angles that you need to have for doing that. But, you know, before I thought, well, the longer the video, the better it was. But if you look at your retention, that's not really true. Long video is just people won't watch it, right? So what's the point? So the point is basically have every second in the video being important. You must have a purpose. Is it the hook? Is it part of the story? Is it part of the hook or the end screen that you want to accomplish? So use a lot of emoji to kind of get people hooked into what you're trying to accomplish. Now, the other part that I think is also important is this one. those gear matter. I mean, those equipment matter, right? You always think, well, I gotta have the best audio. I gotta have the best camera. I gotta have the best lighting. I know that helps. I'm not gonna say no. Because the better equipment that you have, the better video you're able to produce. Or you say, yeah, but if you have a great story and you're able to create great thumbnail, great title, and you have a quality video, you should be able to overcome all those. Even if you have a broken laptop, or even if you only have an iPhone, go ahead and start doing it. Now I could tell you, I've used my iPhone to produce some clips, and I'm surprised of the quality. I'm surprised how well you could tell a story using your iPhone, and how many views you could get by using your iPhone. If you have a good story, something to tell, go for it. Don't let that stop you. Never an excuse for lack of success, lack of equipment. As you begin to succeed, you're gonna get money, and you could use that to buy better equipment, better things to do. Now, let's talk about the next one. How to come up. How to come up with ideas. Right, so every day, I'm trying to think, well, what should be the subject tonight? What should I talk about? And I go to YouTube for inspiration, because that's what I grew up. He has a different strategy. He say, use a dictionary approach. Spend hours just thinking of ideas. Like I may have one or two ideas for my broadcast. He may have hundreds of ideas, or 50 ideas, and say, I like this one, and then you begin to develop them. And we talked about idea development when we had the show about a couple of days ago, about developing the idea, how the idea spark, begin to create a draft script, begin to write an outline, and begin to develop the script, and doing some draft video. It's a process. You go from idea to script writing to draft video, back to idea. It's a process that you keep going back and forth until you produce something that's worthwhile to put out as a final video. So he said a dictionary approach. Find the idea from anywhere and then try to develop that. It could be a random word, a brainstorming. Something could spark your creativity, and that's the key, right? Come up with an idea, a brand new idea. You don't want to be copying people. Although I could tell you, I was watching one video tonight, and he said, I have gone viral, and I basically monetized in X number of days. And the way that I did is I went to this other channel and I copied what they were doing. I made some changes, and voila, I'm a success. Whoopie-doo. I'm quite sure that I wonder how long they're going to be around. Maybe they change the strategy after they get monetized. But that's not what Mr. Beast is advising. He was advising on originality. And we had tomorrow we're gonna have a video that talks about how to grow your channel organically. Maybe you want to join us. There'll be a drop 6 p.m. Eastern time for the video, and it'll give you some idea as to what I'm talking about. Let's see, I think this might be it.
Want more views, higher watch time, and better engagement? Here's my complete viral video workflow from start to finish. First, I edit everything inside DaVinci Resolve.
Okay, like I said, that's just a little clip of the videos coming, is dropping tomorrow night. So if you have time, go to my channel and you'll see it being scheduled, and just sign up for it. It's free, of course. Now, another question I was asked of him: how to scale a channel? And I'm a team of one, right? But eventually, you probably might get a few dollars. You say hire people who are smarter than you. That makes sense. Or who can do a specific task better than you, so you can focus on higher level creative decisions. And I kind of, to my humble beginning, I have kind of tried to ask people, like my daughter is really good at public speaking, good at engaging people, to help me with some of the engagement. And one who's do a lot of our live show, and my grandson who's great at website. So if they're better than you, ask them for their support, and hopefully that will help you grow. It's an unofficial team, right? Because I cannot have employees. I don't have the money to do that, but they have been very gracious in helping me go through that. So build that team with friends, build that team with co-workers, build that team with anybody that you can. And when you start making money, you may want to think of getting the permanent team, and that will help you make more money, right? So the better team that you have, the better video you're able to produce, the greater amount of videos you're able to produce, and therefore you'll get to scale, you'll get to grow, right? So that's good. And let me see if I'll give you an example of that on my live event. I have a couple of examples how we do that. We did a master class on cybersecurity the other day, and I'm gonna see if I find that one first. It was a while back, so bear with me for a second. If I don't find it, I think I found one of the ones that I wanted to see. Oh, right here. See, this is one right here. As you can see right here, we have an event. We were planning the event. This was a event that we were planning. That's a picture of my daughter. That's me in the bottom. That's one in here. So we collaborated online to be able to set up this event. So this is what you call the official, unofficial team, right? Free labor, if at all possible, right? Not free labor, but people willing to help you with as much as they possibly can. So, and that's what he means by building a team. You know, build a team that will allow you to reach higher level creativity. And you don't have money now, but you will have money if you continue doing YouTube. And if you reinvest some of that money into better equipment, also reinvest it on building a better team. Now, this is the one here. This is the most difficult one for me, and I'm speaking from personal experience. He said, "Is success based on luck?" Now, I always think in life you got to have a little bit of luck, right? So it's not all being smart or whatever. You have to be a little bit lucky on my book. But he says virality, which is a specific event on YouTube, is the ability of a video to go viral, is engineered. So he said, because it is engineered, that's a teachable, learnable skill. And you know, I try to follow some of the advice that I've gotten on YouTube, and it turns out that there's some truth to that. If if I learn from other YouTuber, it seems like my videos get better. I'm learning from Mr. Beast right now. And all credit to him, he's willing to share his success with others. As a matter of fact, he said, look, every time I have an interview, I tell people exactly what I did or exactly how I'm successful. They may not listen, but I'll tell them anyway. And that's what he means. The things that he's talking about, building a team, developing ideas, the fact that you use whatever gear you have to do your work, edit your video and remove any moment that are not giving you any value, reinvest everything, the hook in the first 10 seconds, how quality is better than quantity, all those things, right, contribute to reality. And for that reason, he said that, hey, I'm going to share with you what you need to know to be a success. And if you apply the items, the topics that we talked about previously on this video, in this live stream, you should be able to have a better outcome when it comes to number of views, right? And now the other thing that he's good at is knowledge sharing. So if you could get together with a group of creators and you learn from each other, and especially from each other's mistakes. And I could tell you, I make mistakes, and I share my mistake with you guys. And you could say, oh, I could do better than this individual. I could speak better, I could have better lighting, I could have better equipment. Everything is better. Great. I'm here for you to get better by looking at my videos. I'm looking at my mistakes. I'm looking at my successes, despite my mistakes. So, every time you get better, it triple, quadruple the learning speed if you do it with others. And I'm going to repeat what I said earlier. The goal isn't to be perfect today, but to be 1% better every single day you post a video on YouTube. That's the goal. Now let's talk about, recap a few things, right? There are 100 rules on the path to mastery. Stop overthinking and start making mistakes. Stop failing. Don't worry about the fact that you don't have everything. Don't worry about the fact that you are having a live event at 10:30 at night and you should be resting. If it doesn't work, try it again tomorrow. Like this morning, before the video started the video, how to end it, then restart it because of what? Because of something that happened. So that's the way it goes. The first 100 rules. Talks about also the first 100 video. They say likely to be garbage, and I could tell you that I have tried, and sometimes the outcome is not what I wanted. I wouldn't call my work garbage, but in reality, it is not the best that I could have done, but at the time it was. But when I go back and look at it, I say, oh my God, I could do so much better. So much better than that. So the first 100 videos are for you to make mistakes and improve one specific thing. We talk about better lighting, better hooks, better music, editing. Everything you do, you try to improve the next video. Better storyline. That's an important one. Just fail. No analysis by paralysis. If you get a video, it may not be your best video. Once you think it's good enough to go out there, push it forward. Don't analyze this forever, right? I mean, yes, quality is number one, but if you think it's the best you could produce, post it and get some reaction from the audience, and see what is it that you could do better, right? So teachable skills. What we do in YouTube can be taught. Going viral can be taught. Doing a thumbnail can be taught. All those skills are learnable. So therefore, you could engineer the skills that you need, and you need to master through data and observation. And the way you do that is, once again, is you key for that is analytics. Whatever you post, look at analytics, and it will tell you, oh wow, this is good or no good. What happened here? You can see the step forward. You watch hours. Sometimes you don't get a lot of views. Sometimes it's a spike and then you're out. People are out. This is a live event, so for a live event, 21 people, that's fairly good for me in my books. For a live event, the number of watch hours and whatever number of minutes I got, 30 minutes. I think it's fairly good for that. But you be the judge of it. Now, next, and this is a repetition of what we talked about, but this is specifically dealing with retention, right? Hook and retention. Hook is to hook them up for the first 10 seconds. That's all you have. The first 10 seconds, you have to have a strong hook to get the person to watch your video and to stay with your video. You have to basically have other things to maintain their attention. One of the things is the way you structure your video. You say at the beginning, hey, these are 3 items that I'm going to teach you tonight. The last one is the best item of the 3. So wait for the end. And basically, people might say, okay, I could wait 10 more seconds and then another 10 more seconds. Before you know it, you'll be watching your video for a minute or 2 or more, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. You say, don't say the algorithm hates me. The algorithm has me on timeout. Replace, anytime you're going to complain about the algorithm, replace it with the audience. Then instead of saying the algorithm did not like me, say the audience did not like my video. Because if 10 people watch it, were recipient of your video and 10 people watch it, YouTube will send it out to 10 more people, and then 10 more, and then 10 more, and then 10 more. And before you know, you have virality. You have basically what you're after. You have a video with many views, thousands of views, and things of that nature, right? The next step is cutting the stock. It's like, what is that? Well, in the Marine Corps, we had a embrace the stock, meaning is in this case is to be ruthless when it comes to editing. Anything that sucks in the video, anything that's bad, anything like pause, a long pause, a short pause, a misplaced music, a misplaced joke, anything that may slow down the viewer's experience, cut it. It's not needed. For every mistake that you make, your retention could drop as much as 5%. And you saw the curve start high, and it drops really dramatically. So you only have a few, especially at the beginning. Cut as much as you can. Now, the next one is for the faint of heart. So you have to be hyper obsessed and make a lot of sacrifices. Right now, my throat is hurting. It doesn't matter. My eyes are closing because I want to go to sleep. It doesn't matter. I'm hungry because I haven't had dinner. It doesn't matter. The point is, if I'm obsessed to be here, tonight, to be able to do this live cast, then to a certain degree, I'm showing some obsession about my ability to grow my channel. So I'm I'm quite sure I'm not the most dedicated person to do this task, or maybe I am the most dedicated person of my team of 3 or 2 or 1. So you have to have some sort of obsession as to what you're trying to accomplish if you want to do that. Okay. The next topic for retention, the 10,000 rule. You know, Mr. B spent a decade thinking about YouTube every waking hour of the hour. He admitted having no real work-life balance. We talked about that already. You know, so he spent 10,000 hours at the beginning to get to where he needed to be to become a master, an expert, whatever you want to call it, to be monetized. So the question is, are you willing to spend ungodly number of hours doing this thing in order to be successful? Now, most people won't be, or maybe they spend 100 hours instead of in 5 or 10 years, instead of doing it in a year or whatever it is, whatever number of hours you have in a year. So think about that. Crazy, people call him, you were crazy until he succeeded, then he became a genius. So the line between craziness and genius is a fine line. You're only crazy if you are a loser, if you are struggling, if you haven't gotten to the end of your goal, if you haven't achieved your goal, you are crazy. But if you make it, you become successful, your title changes to becoming a genius. So my advice is be crazy enough to become a genius at the end. We talk about reinvesting, not in the short term, in the long term. You know, he reinvested for years, and he found a way to make his reinvestment pay off. So I wish the same for you. One of the things he talks about is cloning yourself. As you grow, find someone to do the things that you need to do, if at all possible. It's an assistant, an administrative assistant, an AA, a clone, a helper, whatever words you want to use, and train that person to do things the way you do it, so that way you know exactly what is going to produce. Right. That being said, you know, it's hard to find a person that will do that for you, but if you have enough patience or you have enough money, I guess that's possible. The next concept that he talked about is consultant as cheat codes. So he talks about, hey, if you need something, find an expert and have them be like a cheat for you, give you the knowledge that you need to accomplish your goal, or hire that person to do some of the heavy lifting so that you are able to accomplish what you need to do. Interesting concept. If you have money, I guess you could do that. Pushing through no. You're going to get lots of no. And I know the greatest salespeople on the earth, they know they're going to get no, so they find a way to overcome it. No, I cannot let you use my facility. No, I cannot help you. No, I cannot make a donation in my case. No, I cannot let you do a live show. No, I cannot support that. So the whole thing is find a workaround, get permission for the location, find out what the bottleneck is, and be able to solve the problem through persistence or budget. If you throw enough money at any problem, sometimes you solve that, but most people don't have the money, so they have to be persistent. Now, advice for longevity in the business. He said, don't have a plan B. Kind of hard when you're not making any money, but that's what he said. It's either your plan A or nothing. That's a sort of education that it might take to be mega successful. And some people want to be mildly successful. I mean, that's not a bad thing. But to be the best of the best, you cannot have a plan B. You have to have a plan A, and that's it. We talk about collaboration with other YouTubers, collaboration with your team, collaboration with other people, collaboration with other organizations. If you see that on some of the story that he has tell us, he has collaborated with a lot of people. A lot of people have collaborated with him. So collaboration is important. Now, this one I found very interesting. He's saying, if you look at the video from last week, last month, hate them all because they're not good enough. So when you go back, it says 6 months here, but when you go back, you say, oh my God, I could have done something so much better based on the technology that I have today. So that means that you continuously to improve. And that's good. A quick summary, and I'm going to close the thing tonight. Your first 100 videos, no bueno. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about views, because they're not gonna be good. The first 10 seconds determine your success. So have a strong hook. We invest everything to stay ahead of the competition. The algorithm is just people. So when you say the algorithm did not like me, people did not like you. Think of that concept. If you think about people when you're creating your video, when you're creating your story, you'll be able to do better as far as getting more views. And again, next step is be obsessed to be able to go to the top and be successful. Those are the advice that I have tonight. So hopefully some of this, I'm gonna put all this on in the description as much as I can. And hopefully tonight you guys learn something. I know that I did learn something by going through this information from Mr. Beast. With that being said, good night, everyone.